Hello everyone, this is Raman, and in our previous lecture we have seen how we can create a very simple program in Java. Now in this lecture we will see that what is the use of class, what are the core concept of Java. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to create a class. So first of all, why class and what is class, these things. Okay, Java is an object-oriented language. Okay, so Java is an object-oriented language. It means everything is moving around an object. So what is an object? So object means something which exists, something which has behavior, something which has properties. So these all things called an object. And to technically achieve this, we need to create a class. So say an example, I'm creating a class called person. So class is the keyword in the Java. Okay. So I'm creating a class which is called person. And this class is having some methods or some properties. So say an example, I'm saying every person is having an age. Every person is having a name. So age and name is the property of a person. So what it means? It means whenever there is a person, he must have age and he or she must have name. Now there are some access modifiers are used like public and private. So I'm making these two are public. So what we will get by putting public in front of these properties, I will just let you know. So I'm just creating one private variable and private int id. So I'm saying every person is having some identity number as well. Now, who is that person? Is that person you, it's me, or someone else? So how do we identify that person? That we identify with the help of object. So I'm just removing this set of code. So who is that person? To create that person, we have to create the object. Now here what is happening? Person P1. So P1 is the object which basically point to some object, some values. So say an example, I am saying equals to new person. So what this new keyword is doing? New keyword is basically initializing that object. So new is to initialize. Initialize means it provides some properties values. So say an example when I'm saying person P1. So P1 having the age person and having the name of the person and ID. So it means some memory is needed when I store some value. So for that new keyword is used. So in short, you can say new keyword is used to initialize the object. If I say P1 dot, now you can see age is coming over here. This IntelliSense says that if it is a public property, I will show that property with the object. So you can see age, name, but there is no ID. The reason is because ID is a private variable. Private variables are not accessible with object. So I'm saying here person age is say 25. And after that I'm saying person name is say Rahul. So here what is happening that I have created one object P1 and P1 is basically denoting to a person whose name is Rahul and whose age is 25. Now I want to print this value. So I am saying system dot Yes, tell me what I need to write. Yes, system dot out dot println, and here I need to say name equals to, and I'm giving p1 dot name. Why I'm writing p1 dot name? Because p1 is the object which has name. Simple name is nothing. Okay. Same way, if I want to print the age of that person, I'm saying system dot out dot println age equals to plus p1 dot age. Okay, so if I run it, control F11, then you can see name is coming as Rahul and age is 25. So it means what we have done, we have created one class, and that class is having integer and string property and ID property. Now you might be thinking, what is the use of ID? So that I will explain you in a bit. So, but these two are the public property, name and age. So that's why these are accessible. Now, if you want to create one more object, then what you will say, person p2 equals to new person, because this is the new person. This is not person whose name is Rahul. So for that, I'm saying p2 dot age equals to say 30 and p2 dot name equals to say Ram. Now, if I want to print, I will print in the same way as I printed above, because system.out.println is used for. So now here you can see that I'm saying p2.name, because p2 is the name Raman and age 30. Let me run it. So now you can see that name, first name p1 dot name is coming as Rahul, age is coming as 25. Same way, the second name is coming as Raman and age is coming as 30. So this way you are basically creating the object and assigning the properties value and printing it. This is basically we call assignment, when you are assigning the values, and here you are accessing the value. So we are accessing the value of that properties. Now you might be wondering that ID we have not used. Then what is the use of this particular ID? So a class is not only the set of properties or fields, it can have the methods. So I'm creating one method, public method. Now you must be familiar with public, because public is accessible with the object of the class. So I'm saying public void enter. And here I'm passing variable, say int. This is the parameter. Okay, int say id, comma int age, comma string name. So I'm creating one method. As I told you, method is started with this parenthesis, and it can have the body. So this here I'm defining the method. Okay. Okay. Now here, what I want to say, that age equals to whatever the age I'm passing in the parameter, and name equals to whatever the name I'm passing in the parameter. And same way, ID is same as what I'm passing in the parameter. So this private variable is not accessible outside the class or with the object, but it is accessible within the class. Mean to say, if I define some method within a class, so that particular private method or properties are accessible within the class. So here ID is accessible to the enter. Same way, I want to create one method, public void and all these things I will explain you little bit later, but for now you can consider that it does not return any value. So I'm saying display, and here in this display method I just want to print the same thing which I'm printing here. So I'm saying name equals to name. Here I can write name because this name is not related to object. This is within the class. Okay, same way I can say system dot out dot println, and here I am saying id equals to, and I'm printing id. So this id is not now accessible. So this is the one way I have told you that how can we create an object and assign the values. Now I have enter method. So I'm saying p1 dot enter method. So when I'm saying enter method, it needs three things. One is ID. So I'm giving ID 1, and age. Age I'm passing 25, and name it is expecting, which is of string type, and I'm saying Raman. Okay. This I don't need. The reason is because I already have a method which is called display method. Same way I can define the thing for P2. I'm saying P2 dot enter method, and ID is 2, age is say 35, and name is I'm saying Rahul. Okay. Now I need to print this. To print this, I have the display method P2 dot display. So let us run it. Control F11. So now you can see here, first name it is printing as Raman, age 25, and ID 1. Name Rahul 35, and so because now when I call this enter method, this enter method first parameter is passed to the ID. ID is where? ID column. Age 25 is going to age column, and name goes to name column. So P1, it means P1 is having ID 1, age 25, name Raman. And when I say display, so it basically display the name, age, and ID for the associated object. Here the associated object is P1, and P1 has age, name, age equals to 25, name equals to Raman, and ID equals to 1. Similar way that P2 is defined, and P2 dot display will display the corresponding name, age, and ID. So this way we are creating the object and creating the methods within an object. Hopefully you like this video. In the next lecture, we will study more about the classes. Thanks for watching.